Dogworks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com. You can support this podcast on patreon.com/Timaneke. The Dog Driver Show is brought to you by Dr. Tim's Pet Food, makers of such foods as Momentum, Fusion, Glacier, and Pursuit Athletic Dog Foods. Dr. Tim's has fed 5 of the last 8 Iditarod winners and some of the fastest sprint dogs on the planet. Dr. Tim's, a food for success.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by First Paw Coffee Company, specializing in private label premium blend coffee. If you're serious about coffee, you should check it out. First Paw Coffee's passion is high-quality, small-batch roasted coffee. They take the extra time to taste and get everything perfect before they release new blends. They aim to bring you a cup of happiness each time you pour yourself some coffee. Find out more at ak.dog/free and enter for a chance to win some First Paw Coffee prizes, a book from our collection, and tote bag. One winner will be selected at random each month. That's ak.dog/free.
From First Paw Media, sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company, this is the Dog Driver Show. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert Forto and Kurosh Parto.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Robert and you're listening to the Dog Driver Show. I'm here with my co-host KP, and today we're talking to Thierry Bloch. He's calling in from Europe, and he's been doing this for a long time, since 1977. KP, what do you know about Thierry?
I know Thierry Bloch from back in 1987, 89, 88. I believe we met at some of the dryland races in Europe, in France, when I was there. He is a founder of many organizations in France and in Europe in general. He was an intricate part of the federation and the IFSS and the French Federation. Thierry, how's everything going in France? And tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background.
So I began the sport in 77 with Greenland Dog. Then I created the first sled dog club in Europe, because usually all the sled dog sport was organized through the Northern Breed Registered Dog Club. And then this club became the French Federation, the closed one we call it, because at this moment we only could race with polar breed, Northern Registered Polar Breed. And then I worked to open the sport in Europe, and I race all this time with Greenland Dog, with Siberian Husky, then Alaskan Husky from Terry Martin. I brought them from Idaho, and then the Euro sled dog with Scandinavian way of deal with it. And then both of my daughters bring the family flag until this time.
Thierry, you mentioned that you created the closed federation, and I am familiar with that because I lived in Europe. But explain how the sport used to be in Europe between the closed and open federations.
At this moment, in the 70s, the sport was coming in Europe through the airline company crew. They have the opportunity to import dogs at cheap price because they were involved in piloting or in being the airline crews. And these guys were oriented toward the pure breed with essentially Siberian Husky. And all the sport in all Europe, except Scandinavian, was dealt and was managed through the registered polar breed clubs. And in France, when I tried to import the sport in France, the Northern Breed Club doesn't want us as a sport commission, and so I decided to create a special sled dog club, and it was the first one in Europe except Scandinavian country.
So was it difficult to introduce basically Alaskan Huskies and Norwegian and Scandinavian Hound in Europe?
So until '86, we were all with registered breed, and in 1986, France was organizing the European Championship, and it was obvious that some Austrian mushers had imported some Alaskan, northern type Alaskan, and raced with them during this championship. They didn't win at this moment because they didn't have enough experience to make them run with the normal speed and so on, but everybody sees that it will be the last time that Siberian Husky will be European champion at this time in '86. So the management of the sport in Europe decided to open the race to all kind of breed at this moment.
So currently, I know when I left France, we had two different federations. One which was FFPTC, and the other one was, I believe, FFPT. I believe. Are we still having two federations in France? One for purebred and one for open breeds?
So there is two federations. The historic one, the one I create at the end of the 70s, the FFPTC. It's remained a closed federation, but after '86, the closed federation in France doesn't want to move to an open status. So we decide to found one open federation. The name is FFST, for French Federation for Sled Dog Sport, and this federation got the recognition of the sport ministry in order to be able to manage the sport in France and on the international scene.
Thierry, you are a very important part of the political aspect of sled dog sport in Europe. Do you think having two different organizations and two different federations helps or hurts the sport?
That obviously hurts the sport because it's a kind of fight. So the FFPTC got less power now, but at the moment it was a fight between the open-minded musher and the closed-minded mushers. But finally, the open-minded got more interest. But we are dealing with a special ranking for purebred dogs inside the open race, and it's very important to maintain it because the sport, the purebred sport is 50% of the sport in France and in all of Europe.
So still a lot of purebred teams in France and in Europe overall, right? There's still a lot of purebred teams in Europe?
Yes, there is. It's 50% of the sport.
Wow. Thierry, I know you for years and years and years. Know your family, your daughters, Karen and Julie. We raced all together. What is the difference that you see from 77, 70s, 80s, and today in our sport?
The main difference is the level has incredibly ramp up. The level is very, very good, and there is a big thing that everybody finally understood that the main thing is, to manage a good relationship with the dogs we have. Most part of the time, a good dog is able to run quite quickly, but he will be a bit quicker than another team if you have a good relationship, and if you can hug them more, just a little more when you need it.
Okay, no problem. How important is dryland racing in Europe now?
The winter is awful, and it's almost the third or at least the second awful winter in continental Europe. So everything is cancelled right now, and everybody is moving in Sweden and Norway to train and to race. So it's very difficult, and it's a big challenge if you stay in France or Germany to have a good team at this moment of the season, because you need a good team right now, because important races are just now. But almost anybody has run on snow in France, Switzerland probably, and Germany at this moment. So I think the winter will be the key of the following season, and dryland races are going to improve very much because of this lack of snow in continental Europe. It's a big problem, and it's going to change everything. We need now to run on snow to go to Sweden and Norway, and Finland too.
Thierry, if I could follow up on that, you had said that a lot of dog drivers are moving to Sweden and Norway from south, from Europe. What is the process to do that? If you move to the States, you can stay 6 months or whatever. What is the process in Europe, if you know?
So to go to Sweden, it's from the center of France. It's 3 days of traveling with a dog, so it's a quite long trip, and you have to be well organized to have a good trailer or a good van, and it's a part of adventure too. But it's the only way we found now this year to run up there and to find snow. Even in the south of Sweden, there is no snow at this moment. So you have to go 1,000 kilometers. Once you are on the Swedish border, you would have to drive 1,000 kilometers more. So it's a 3,000 kilometer affair.
So back to the same question. What is the immigration process to move there? Can you stay there for 6 months, for a year? Can you stay there permanently? What is the process from Europe to go to a different country just to run sled dogs? Are you there on a visa or what?
I think a part of the musher are trying to say, the most part of the musher have to work, it's amateur status, so they have to work. Most part of them have children, they must go to school and so on, so it's impossible for them to go several weeks up there. And so they have two solutions. They have to target the big race or European champion or world championship race organized now in Sweden and Norway, or they go for, let's say, 2 weeks, and they have, they want only to go in the mountain and to cross country with their dog across the mountain, and they stay like that. They rent a cabin somewhere with a good trail result, and they stay there in having some family cross-country mushing style.
Thierry, can you tell our listeners a little bit about the monosport, the canicross, the bike touring with one dog, and is that changing the spirit of the sport in Europe?
It's more and more difficult to manage big kennel in Europe and in France because it's very expensive. There is neighbor problem everywhere now. As soon as you have more than 3 or 4 dogs, let's say 3, even 3 dogs can be a problem with neighbors in France. So everybody and the cost of management are huge. So with the canicross development and with the small category, with the small class development, a lot of people are approaching the sport through this small dog class, and it's a huge development, and it has a very big influence on the type of dog we are using. On small team or in canicross or in bike jogging, we need very powerful dogs, and now we see currently dogs more than 60 pounds or 65 pounds without any problem, because it's the kind of dog we need for the small class, and it has a strong influence on the breeding and program and so.
Thierry, I'm going to ask you the same question we ask all of our guests, and it's one of our most popular segments, especially for folks that are not involved with the sport, and that is, if a person comes to you and asks for advice, they're just getting involved in the sport, what would you tell them? I'm interested to hear what you say because you've been doing this for over 45 years now.
I will tell them 2 things. First, you must have a project in the following 5 years. It's not like ski or like tennis when you begin this sport. When you begin, for example, skiing, alpine ski, for example, you don't need the more technical ski. You begin with quite soft ski, allowing some mistakes and so on, and then you can change your skis in order to get more performance skis. It's not possible with the dogs. So you have the dogs for at least 10 years, so you must choose them in being in 5 years later what you want to do. You want to go across the mountain and spend night with your dog outside, or you want to have a good result in a 4-dog class at the European Championship, for example, and you must already decide on the kind of dog you will need in 5 years. And the second advice I will give is, don't believe you are going to find the magic dog which will make you world champion. This kind of dog have less chance to be or to in small kennel. Perhaps the big kennel like a Gillelis, like the big at the moment Harley and some all this guy, or can perhaps have some of these magic dogs, but there is a less chance that the small kennel and the small breeding program have one day this magic dog in their kennel. So you have you have some dogs, and you must work on them to improve them, and you will stick with your dog. And at this moment, your dogs and your bunch of dogs will give you the sparkle and allowing you to perhaps have a very good performance. So don't change dogs every season in order to find the magic dog.
Thierry, I just wanted to thank you one more time for spending the last 20 minutes or so with us and sharing some of your knowledge and expertise and experience with us. Good luck to you and your family in France, and hope to see you once again in Alaska or maybe in France.
Yes, I don't know if we are going to go back in Alaska for the moment. For the moment, I'm completely out of the sport and only managing the international management of the French Federation. But it was a pleasure and good experience to be in Alaska for sure. But it was a good part of my life. Now I think I let it go a little bit because it's so much involvement and so much energy and so much money too.
Thank you very much, Thierry, for joining us today. On behalf of our guest today and my co-host KP, this is Robert for the Dog Driver Show. We will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company. Learn more at firstpaw.coffee.
From First Paw Media, this is the Dog Driver Show. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you can see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert Forto and Parto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media. Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michelle Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.